Well, this is my first time to Montana. I arrived last night, drove from Spokane through Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And as you saw, I visited Wallace, Idaho, and then I came on here to my Boondockers Welcome campsite. No hookups. I'm down there on the left, and it's relatively quiet last night, except for trains coming through fairly often. But yeah, it was a beautiful drive coming here. Lots of mountains and trees, bodies of water. It's very pretty. This is my first time to Montana, so it's pretty exciting. There's the big sky of Montana. Slightly hazy. So I'm supposed to be here 5 nights, but I'm not sure if I will stay that long, because it is kind of going to be, well, today's going to be the hottest at 94, and then I think it drops down to 80. What did it say? It's 80, maybe mid 80s, so that's more reasonable. But still, inside the rig, it gets pretty hot, so I may decide to go stay at an Elks Lodge nearby with full hookups for $25 a night. We'll see. It is in the opposite direction of where I need to go, though, so that's the only consideration. But I'll make that decision in a day or two. I'm noticing already that there's kind of a wide variety of income levels, I would say, here, because there's been some very nice newer homes, large, and then there's been more modest homes. So that's kind of nice. I like that, different income levels in a neighborhood, I think, is a good thing. But a lot of them seem to have good amount of land, though, so I understand land in Montana is pretty expensive. I've seen a lot of people displaying flags in front of their residences on my walk this morning, and I just, out of curiosity, was checking to see if other countries have a flag culture like ours does, and come to find out, no, other countries don't typically display their flags out in front of their homes. That includes just, Australia, Europe, etc. They might put it out on holidays, but most of the national pride flags are flown from the government buildings. So that's interesting that we have a flag culture here in the United States, and it's not as prominent in other cultures. I say it because I notice it because I'll never forget how I just sort of, for most of my life. Oh, there's where I'm parked. For most of my life, I never really paid attention to all the flags that were flown around the U.S. until I was renting out a room on Airbnb years ago, and I had a young German guy come and stay with me, and he's like, "What is the deal with all of the flags here? We don't do that in Germany." And he almost seemed kind of offended or turned off by it. He felt like it was a boasting of pride, like there was a boastful aspect to it. And I was like, really? That's interesting that you would see it that way. I've never thought about it. I never saw it that way. But you've given me food for thought, so I guess that's made me a little bit more aware of it. Well, yesterday was really hot here in Plains, Montana. It got up to 100 degrees, And I had the AC on from like noon until like 6 p.m. So like 6 hours, and the longest I've ever run my generator, and I couldn't take it anymore, and so I turned it off and put my fan on, but it was still way too hot, and it did not cool down until early this morning. It was hot all night in here. So I did not sleep very well. And it's a little surreal to be looking at all the wood that's stored in this house next door, you know, for the winter time when it's so hot right now. That was my second night, and it was a lot worse than the first night. I have no hookups here, so I've decided to actually leave this morning and go to an Elks Lodge that's about 25 minutes away. It's in the opposite direction I need to go, but for the next 3 nights I just do not want to be that hot and uncomfortable, and it's supposed to still be up in the upper 80s, you know, low 90s. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and move this morning to the Elks Lodge spot that has electric and water. That'll be much nicer for me. And then my next stop is I have another Harvest Host stay with no hookups, but it's going to be cooler still, though, about 80. So you know, it can get so hot in here. It actually is hotter inside the rig than it is outside at some point, you know. It's just really like being in a car where it just gets so dang hot in there. But I just could not get cool last night. It was so nice to feel the coolness finally at the early morning hours. Right now it's about 7 a.m. and it'll be nice till about 9:30. So I want to get going and get packed up and ready to go. So I'm going to get an early start here and get over there and get hooked up. Ah, sweet relief. Got my AC on. It feels great. It works better when I'm plugged into shore power than when it's on the generator, I can tell. You know, and I don't have to listen to the noise of the generator and the vibration and smell. So I'm at my Elks Lodge spot here. Very pretty drive to get here. There's 2 more spots right there. $25 a night. It's a deal. I've got electric and water. I was talking to my neighbor here, and he was saying they're full-timers. And he said, yeah, we never boondock in the summertime. It's just too hot. And so they mostly stay at Elks and Moose Lodges, which are much more affordable than a lot of places are. I'm walking down to the downtown area of Thompson Falls, Montana. So I'm walking on this section here as cars and semis rush by. Thankfully it's nice and wide, but it's very pretty. This is my way to get some exercise and see the downtown area without having to break camp. And I do need to mail some letters for work, and there is a grocery store, so I might do a little grocery shopping. It's in the morning, and I wanted to get to these places early enough before it gets warmed up. Yesterday was so much more pleasant with the AC on and hookups. The gas is nice and cheap here. $3.29, wow, cheap. Here's the grocery store, Harvest Foods. Wow, this brings back memories. RCA. They were big back in the 50s, 60s. I think we had a RCA television, so this must be a really old sign. Lodge Motel Trailer Spaces, Color TV by RCA. Oh, I love it. Historic. And then I'm not sure what's happening over here. It looks like there's construction going on, but that must have been the motel, which it looks abandoned at the moment, but maybe they're renovating. Here's the Elk Lodge that I'm staying at. Just have one neighbor. And there's the Elks Lodge. Very nice. The elevation here is about 2,500. And so they must not get a whole lot of, ton of snow here. That's a really nice home. You have to look at a home like that, like this huge home, kind of out in the boonies here, and wonder, okay, how did they make their money? Earlier this year when I did a 6-week trip, a lot of back pain and other trips I've taken. But I've been doing some core exercises over the last few months, and I think it's helping because I'm not experiencing as severe of back pain. So I want to keep up with those core exercises. Basically, the simplest one I'm doing is, I can even do it when I'm driving. Just pull in my tummy, hold it for 10 seconds, release, and repeat that 6 to 10 times. So it's really easy, an easy one to do, but it seems to be helping me. In fact, I could even do it while I'm walking. Pull in and release. No, not that fast. So maybe I can solve the back issue, but the anxiety one is a difficult one to solve. Wow, it's pretty here. Really pretty. Shade. It's only about 70 right now, but the sun feels really bright when it's on you, but in the shade it's perfect. It's interesting, I'm seeing in Montana this color used a lot in some of these homes. It's a very interesting roof material. It looks like a metal roof, but I'm sure it's not. Isn't that an interesting color to use on your roof? So all these homes have riverfront property. So yeah, I'm trying to block out the glare. Very pretty. Yeah, very big homes. I'm wondering if they're full-time or vacation rentals, or just vacation homes. So this house is for sale. Not sure if it's brand new or not, but it's $455,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, almost 1,500 square feet on a 1-acre piece of land. It's nice. You have the great mountain views and the rivers right behind you. It looks like you have to be on propane out here, because that's a propane tank, and I see them in front of other people's houses. Well, I just arrived at my next destination. I stayed at the Elks Lodge for 3 nights in Thompson Falls, Montana. And it was so lovely to have the hookups and water. It was hard to leave because I think for the next couple of weeks I won't have hookups all that much. So I've just arrived in a little town called Polson, Montana. I'm staying at a Harvest Host for 2 nights. And there's this beautiful lake. I think it's called Flathead Lake. It's huge, and it's a beautiful blue color. And I'm hoping to be able to go down and see it in a little bit, but I'm going to do a little bit of grocery shopping first. There's a natural foods market up here, and I'm going to give it a try, see what they have. You know, so far on this trip, and I'm exactly 3 weeks into my trip now. I have about 4 more weeks to go. And so far I haven't found the landscapes and terrain to be that different than what I can find in California. So I guess that makes me feel a little bit better, like I'm not missing out, by living in California. Maybe I'm not in the most unique parts of Montana yet, but to me, we have things like that. We have lakes like this in California as well. So it's just interesting. But I still enjoy, of course, just driving and seeing new little towns and different cultures and so forth. I like what I just read. They said that they do music festivals, fishing events, regattas, and art shows here. And these special occasions bring together the diverse peoples and cultures of the community. And so the tribal and non-Indian officials, citizens, museums, and performers come together in a growing spirit of collaboration and mutual respect. Sounds good to me. I been seeing, way back even in Oregon, I was seeing a lot of a black and white bird. I'm not sure if it was the kingfisher. I don't think so. But it's been really cool on this journey to see the different wildlife and in particular the different birds. I just read a sad story. See if I can sort of recap it. In 1855, the tribal peoples met with U.S. government officials. And because of, in the negotiations, what do you call it? The translators weren't doing a very good job of translating at all. So the tribal leaders did not understand the negotiations, and they ended up putting an X on the treaty and giving away most of western Montana to the government. They did manage to retain the Flathead Indian Reservation, but then that was taken away from them in 1910, or a lot of it was, not all of it, but they ended up sort of breaking it up and just giving individual, you know, what do you call it, plots of land to Native Americans, and then the rest was considered communal. So they basically kind of lost it all in the end, really. So very sad. I'm making zucchini fritters for lunch. I had a bunch of zucchini to use up, so just went online and found a recipe, zucchini fritters. It's great to have in the summertime, and I just serve it with some sour cream and makes a delicious lunch. I had one zucchini fritter already, and it was absolutely delicious. So you must try it if you've never had zucchini fritters. They're so delicious. I learned recently that it's better to get zucchini that's small to medium size. They're sweeter and have less seeds, and don't have as much of that bitter taste. In this recipe, I called for flour, but the only thing I had on hand was some seasoned flour, and that actually added quite a bit of flavor to it. So give it a try if you haven't tried zucchini fritters. And I just have a dollop of sour cream on top. Absolutely love the fact that I can sit in this parking lot. This business is closed today. It's a Sunday. And I'm sitting in the shade, and I'm able to sit here and make lunch. And, you know, I went and did my laundry just now, and I could come in while it was washing and drying and just hang out inside here. So it's so convenient, and I just love having my home with me. It's fabulous, fabulous. It's really fun and whimsical how she has this decorated. It's so cute. I can tell she has a fun artistic personality. Haven't met her yet, but I can just tell by her decor. Very unique. Like each chair is unique. Very fun. I love it. Yeah, this must be a great place to entertain. She can seat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 15 people she can entertain if she wanted to have a party. So fun. The only thing I wouldn't like about her locale here is that she is on a fairly busy highway, which is pretty noisy. I mean, look at this view that you have from your porch. And she also, looks like it's a 2-level home, so there's also a deck up there. Can sit up there as well. Wow. I'm jealous. I would love a place like this. I would love it. Just sitting here in my chair now because it's nicer outside right now than it is inside. There's a nice little breeze out here and the temperature's perfect in the shade. I'm in heaven right now. This is pretty awesome. I can't believe this. This is really great. This is the prettiest property I've ever stayed on. It's just so peaceful with these willow trees. I can't believe these willow trees. So gorgeous. Fantastic. Yeah, so far the trip's been going pretty well, and I'm really having a nice time.